He is coming. He is coming to us. Nosferatu.
Mr. Robert Eggers, this is incredible. This film is incredible. Your work, seriously, it's visually stunning, beautifully horrific. I would love you to talk about why fans should seek this experience out in IMAX.
I think people will be surprised about the scale of Nosferatu. You know, we built over 60 sets, you know, and we go into some incredible landscapes and you know, into Transylvanian castles, and it's also, you know, an immersive horror story, you know, and you want to be sucked into that world, and the IMAX screen and the IMAX sound, you know, that's the way to, you know, really experience the movie at its fullest.
Why do you think fans should seek it out that way to experience it?
Oh my God, because it's. I feel like if there's any film that deserves to be shown in IMAX, it's this one. Like the jump scares, the way that Rob and Jaron shoot things. Like every frame is a picture. You can no matter where you freeze. I can promise you'd want to hang that on your wall. And the soundscape, I feel like as well. Like the score.
It's just so immersive. Like it's really like you really feel watching the movie that you're being like completely pulled into this universe. And I love watching movies in IMAX. I'm a big fan myself, so I feel like it's just, you know, it's the best way to watch any movie, but this one in particular because it is so immersive that I feel like, you know, IMAX really would be the best way to see it.
Could you talk about how it was to work with Mr. Robert Eggers? He's such an amazing filmmaker. His fan base, but just everybody in general that watches his work, you can just tell there's a fine quality to everything he does. It's so detail-oriented. Could you talk about if you have any anecdotes about how it was to work with him on the set of this film?
I mean, he just inspires dedication from everyone on set. And that's what's wonderful, because he designs these beautiful, visually deep worlds, which then everyone throws themselves into. But he's so passionate and, like you say, detailed about every single element that it's in frame, that everyone just really wants to bring their best, I would say. And it inspires a great confidence in him, but also in a dedication in what you're willing to do to try and bring his vision to life. Also, this is like a personal story to him that he's been wanting to tell for a long time. So when you have that passion combined with his quality of filmmaking, I think that's a recipe for greatness.
You know, some directors you find they can be great. They love working with actors. They love shooting, but maybe they aren't too cool on costumes, or they kind of delegate, you know, the scenography or something. He has this group of collaborators that he's worked with on all of his films, and it's a beautiful collaboration, so you feel it's very complete. There are no holes, there are no hiccups. It's not only detailed, it's rooted, and everybody's on the same page. So that's an ideal situation when you're working, because then it's all avanti. It's just about doing things and letting it happen, really.
We've gotten to ask this question to some amazing filmmakers, and I'm beyond excited to get to ask you. If you could experience any movie in IMAX again or for the first time, what would you choose to experience and why?
Oh wow, that's a great question, and I would be hard pressed to answer it right now, but you know, perhaps 2001: A Space Odyssey. It seems like you know, I'm sure you get that a lot. Maybe Apocalypse Now. Yeah.
Scary movies. I love scary movies. Like Halloween time, that's what I'm doing every day of the week. Like I'm a psychopath. And I'm curious. What are your favorite scary movies?
I watched a series of scary movies recently, and I'm going to fail here utterly because I can't remember who it's by, but I think Mark Duplass is in it. It's Creep. Who's who? Yeah.
And the Creep tapes.
I'm
like
right. Okay. Yeah, the
show.
Creep tapes. It's like home cam. Shrug.
Incredible. I like that, yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. And weird. I like weird horror.
Same.
Yeah.
What about you? Trying to think. What's one that I saw recently? Honestly, Rosemary's Baby is like
Oh
one of the
my
scariest
God,
movies
yeah.
I've ever seen. I
Terrifying.
love that movie. It's beautiful and just like so scary. Also, honestly, not to be like so on the nose, but like the original like Dracula, like the Bela Lugosi Dracula, I just have always like loved so much. That's one of my favorites. And then more like contemporary, like Hereditary is one of the scariest movies.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite scary movie of all time.
So scary.
Yeah.
It really like that one really like stayed with me, and I was like, that's
Sleep with the light on kind
yeah,
of
like I don't
bits.
think I could watch it again, kind of thing.
Obviously, you've been nominated for an Oscar for playing a vampire. I don't know if you know this, but you are the only actor to have ever been nominated for an Oscar for playing a vampire. And it's pretty ironic what the role is, right? Like F.W. Murnau's Mr. Shrek, like it's incredible. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain about that. I don't know if someone's told you that today, but I wanted to ask you, as the resident expert in this field, quite literally the only person, if you think Bill Skarsgård should be the next person to be nominated for an Oscar for playing a vampire.
That's not for me to say. It's a great performance, and he does something very magical in transforming it and filling it. He did wonderful things with his voice. He does wonderful things physically. He filled that role and was transformed. So that's not up to me, but why not? Why not? Why not?
Sir, this is such a deeply personal film for you. You know, I read somewhere that you almost took this on as your second feature film, and I'm more curious to see, now that it's where it's at today, what did all of those other opportunities in between your first film and this film teach you that really made this the right moment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely. I couldn't be happier that it didn't get greenlit all those years ago, because I've grown a lot as a person and as a filmmaker, and I'm more equipped to articulate like what's in my imagination with specificity. And it's also because I continue to work with the same creative heads of department, so we become further extensions of each other. We become further extensions of each other, and the collaborations can push us further beyond what we initially imagined.
I mean, you're an expert at your craft. Your teams are expert at their craft. It shines through the content. It really, really does.
Thank you.
You know, both your performances are outstanding, and I know you're both probably going to get some award love. I am praying on your behalf. I would love for you to both talk about, what are you going to be most proud of when you look back on this experience, and what do you take with you going forward in your careers?
Ooh. I think how I sort of changed or grew as an actor on this job. I think every job you do, you grow in a way, but I feel like I've never felt it as much as I have when I've been working with Rob. He sort of challenges you in a really good way that pulls you out of yourself, because you have to fold into his way of working. And it's really beautiful and humbling, and yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
I feel the same. I feel like this experience taught me so much, and you know, like Emma said, like you at least you hope that every role that you do brings you something, and you know, something that you keep with you and propels you forward on your journey of just growth as an artist. And this one just taught me so much. I had never worked in this particular way of shooting that's quite precise and quite specific to Rob. And I feel like he just taught me so much. I feel like he taught me to look at things more simply. I feel like because there's such a structure there, it eliminates a lot of the questions that usually you would kind of carry with you as an actor. And so I feel like that offered me the opportunity to like see things in a kind of very pure way that I think I'll take with me.
Yeah.
What is the thing that you're really going to take away from this experience as you go forward in the rest of your career, and that you're most proud of?
One of the most satisfying things about this movie, was actually collaborating with the creative producer Chris Columbus, who's famous for Harry Potter and Home Alone and things that don't seem like they make sense in my universe. But, Chris wanted to make the best Robert Eggers movie he possibly could, and I think. But having someone who is like a master of orthodox Hollywood storytelling by my side at the monitor was incredible, because he was also an antidote to my like arty-farty nature. And I think this was intended to be my most approachable film, like the film for the biggest audience. And again, like Chris was helping me to make my movie my way, but his sensitivity to how to really be clear in the storytelling was something that I'm going to take with me, even if I make like a super dark, super arty, super weird, twisted, depressing, horrible, I want to kill myself after I watch this movie. Like some of the things that I talked about with Chris Columbus will always make that better.